Hello folks and welcome back to another Wise Gamer video. Today we're going to be playing the alpha for Battle for Azeroth World of Warcraft. What I'm going to be discussing in this video is a little bit of knowledge that I picked up of exactly what is going on with the Azerites and the Heart of Azeroth. So that's what we're going to be covering in this video, and basically what it's about is this is going to be the new way of actually building up your character, giving it different traits or whatnot. Pretty much the way that the artifact weapon used to work in the Netherlight Crucible back in Legions. So let's get started with how the Azerites work for Battle for Azeroth. So as many are probably aware right now that the Battle for Azeroth now is no longer going to have the artifact weapon that we've been using in Legions. I believe that the later patch for Legions is actually going to have a pre-patch for this expansion going into Battle for Azeroth, covering at the end of the storyline exactly what happens with the artifact weapon in that game. So we're going to be going back to the old traditional way again of getting different weapons through different means of the game again. So we're going to be switching out our weapons throughout this expansion by means of dungeons, raids, boxes, or whatnot. So it's going to be going back to that old system again, as far as that goes. So now, what's going to separate it? Well, now we have this item right here called Heart of Azeroth. And everybody's going to actually get this when they complete like the first quest, I believe, when the game goes live. Now, I believe that on the alpha here, when we all first logged into the alpha, we automatically got this because we have to speed up things in the alpha test because we don't have 2 years to play this. So basically, this is going to be our means now of replacing the artifact weapon, and I think it's got a pretty cool design behind it. Again, I don't know too much about it because I'm actually not far enough in the alpha right now to actually even activate it. So what we're going to do next is just cover exactly how this works, and just bear with me with my knowledge. I just read up on this in the last 2 days, and things can always change, as we know, as the live game progresses and goes on. The person responsible for giving us this in the game is a NPC called Magna Bronzebeard, and has a cool way of actually getting more powerful. If you notice, if we look at my neck piece here, it has a number 5 there. That's the level that it's at. It could go all the way up to 20. I don't know actually what it caps out at, but I have seen it in the game as high as 20 right now for alpha. And it's pretty unique on how it actually works. What it does is that it eliminates taking up bag space or clicking on anything. You automatically absorb as you're going through different zones, dungeons, or anything in the game really. There's different means of absorbing these Azerites from this necklace. So this necklace just automatically absorbs it, and you'll notice it when this number starts going up to from 1 to 5 to 5 to 10 or whatnot. So that's a pretty unique system that they did embed into the game as far as that goes. So again, this does get absorbed automatically as you're doing different tasks within the game. Basically, to sum this up, what it's going to do is that your Heart of Azeroth, the necklace, is going to empower, once it gets to a certain level, it can power up 3 different gears that you could get in the game, being your helmet, your shoulders, and your chest piece. Now, the pieces I have right now are not quality enough for me to actually kick this in and do it yet. So, from what I understand, they're given to you even through quests. Like if you do a major quest in the game, the reward from that quest will be giving you these different pieces of gear, plus also other means in the game too, doing dungeons or whatnot. It's only reflective of these 3 pieces. That might change later on in the game, but that's what Blizzard is actually saying. Now, on the information I did read about all this, there was one thing that was not mentioned, and that's exactly how do we actually get this to activate. Like there were certain things like taking legions. When we did our artifact weapons, we had to go back to our class hall. We had to go up to the modifier table there, and that's how we could add and adjust what our artifact weapon did. As far as I understand and what players told me in the alpha so far is that pretty much you don't have to go anywhere. It's a shift click type thing, pretty much like it was when it came to using your relics or adding a new relic to your artifact weapon. It pretty much works the same way. So there's not a certain vendor as far as, at one time I thought I did read that you did have to go to your capital city or whatnot, and there would be a vendor there or a table that you would actually approach, and that's where you would make all these adjustments and changes as far as your Azerites go. Let's dig a little bit deeper now. Basically tying this kind of all together, most people are matching it up with the way that the Netherlight Crucible worked in the Legions game. So you would go to your Crucible, and then it would give you access as you got higher in those tiers to open up further tiers to make that piece that much stronger. As we could see here, also the difficulty of the dungeons and the raids or whatnot that you're actually going to be running also reflects as far as the stronger powers are released and things like that, as far as how the system all ties together and works. Each one of these pieces, your helmet, your shoulders, and your chest, is going to have an individual building map here. Let's call it that. It's what they call the power ring. And what this is going to do is that this is what's going to manipulate and make your traits that much stronger as far as adding those levels of abilities by using this system. Outer ring unlocks first and consists of 4 possible choices. So if you look at the outside ring of, say, the helmet, if we look to the bottom left image here, you're going to notice the helmet icon in the top left corner. So that's the one for the helmet. The same with the middle one is for the shoulder, and the one to the far right at the bottom is for your chest piece. So the outside ring, if you notice that outside ring, it's got 4 icons within that ring. That's the first one you're going to be able to unlock and start to access. So in other words, that's where you're going to be able to adjust the traits that you want to open up and actually use. Now, if we look at the next ring, the second ring, that's going to open up next. And that's going to include 3 different traits. So if we notice looking at that ring, we have 3 traits that we're going to be able to adjust and use to our playing style. And if we look at the last one, the bottom one, or the very center one, that involves 2 traits. These with the same name will have the exact same layouts of traits. You could actually notice a lot of this stuff later on. It's not working for me right now in alpha, but later on they claim that if you open up the dungeon journal, that should give you more information about these 2, and there is no RNG. Higher item level pieces will have more powerful traits, but Azerites, attuned pieces, cannot be Titan Forged, so keep that in mind. Looking at here is our source of power, and we could see our 3 gears that's involved here. We have the helmet, we have the shoulders, and we have the chest piece. And we could see here the rough menu, or the more basic layout when it comes to showing you in the game menu later on of exactly which level of those and the amount of powers and numbers that you have involved as far as that. Our main circle menu here is what I call it. We're going to notice the difference now between the levels of gears or whatnot and the different kind of abilities and traits that each one offers. So if we look in the middle top there, we're going to see that that's our shoulder row. So from top to bottom, we're going to see that the top one and the one just below it is both shoulders. The one to the left is 2 helmets. The one to the far right is 2 chests. But if you notice, if you look at the circles and compare the 2 up and down, we're going to notice that the traits are different. They're not the same. So we're going to have, on the same circle, you're going to have, that circle is for offensive traits. So anything that's offense. Same with another circle that's going to mimic, and that's going to control your utility traits. So all your utility traits is going to be in that same circle. And this is what gives you different choices as far as your more personal builds and what matches a better play style for you. It may seem a little daunting at first because it's something that's brand new to us. And myself, I'm still trying to learn a lot about it myself because, again, I haven't gotten to the level in the game yet where I actually came across a piece of gear that I could actually try this all out. So this was just all reading for me and research, and I wanted to share it with the community, give them an idea of exactly how this is going to work. So, you know, if I was off on a few things, I apologize there, but I'm going to be coming out with further videos as I dive deeper into this. So again, let's go over some of the main key features here. Again, we're dealing with the Heart of Azeroth, which is your neck piece or your necklace now, and that's going to replace your artifact weapon, and it automatically absorbs the Azerites and different things that you're doing out in the world, dungeons, raids, or whatnot, or even PvP. And this is going to be your new trade system, and I think it's going to be a pretty cool system. If somebody asks me what do you think about it so far, I think it's very unique, and I think it's going to be pretty cool. The artifact weapon was a good idea, but it was just something to me that was just a little too repetitive, and after a while it felt just a little too grindy. So building this up, we're not even going to feel it. We're not even going to notice it most of the time, unless if we happen to look at our guy and we happen to notice that little number growing next to our necklace. So I think it's definitely a neat idea, and I like a lot of the other things that I'm reading about Battle for Azeroth, especially for the PvP. So we'll see on how that goes. So again, I will have any further links in the description panel of this video if you want to read about this a little bit deeper. Until then, thanks for watching Wise Gamer, and you have a great day. Let's have fun and battle for Azeroth. Take care. Bye-bye.